What is up, YouTube? We are back with another how-to video. Who is this? It's Clutch Tech Tips. So, in today's video, I'll teach you how to install a CPU, a central processing unit, your processor. So let's get into this video. Alright guys, first up, like I always say, we need to ground ourselves. So let's put this on our wrist, and we gotta make sure that we have all the proper tools for this this build, basically. Now this already has a heatsink fan and of course the processor in here, so I doubt I'm gonna need any thermal compound, but just in case, I got some thermal paste. It's Corsair, makes really good stuff. Put that to the side for right now, but like I said, make sure you have all your tools that you'll need for this build available to you. Makes it a whole lot easier. So let's go ahead and open up the motherboard, because that is where the processor is going to go into. Definitely gonna need that for the case. I know this is a static plate, but I like to have both on there. You can never have too many static free things around. Alright, so as you can see, this is the motherboard. This is where your CPU goes into. Your graphics card, your RAM, what else is there? This is usually your plugs, USB 3, USB 2.0, your audio, the plugs where your case plugs into to turn on the computer on and off. All of your little ports, you know, display ports, USB, Ethernet, audio, old school keyboard and mouse if you still have that. Plug, PSU plug there, power supply plug there, power plug there as well. This powers the motherboard, that powers the CPU. So everything looks good. Let's go ahead and open up this bad boy. I already took this off just to kind of make this process a little bit faster for you guys. But it's first I'm actually taking it out of the box. In the box we get, what's in this little thing? Nothing. Help with the packaging. Comes with the CPU. This is the gravy. This is what your powerhouse right there, that little thing. And of course, a nice little sticker so people know what you are repping. What else we got? This is the heatsink and fan to keep the old computer nice and cool. Which back in the day, I think like in early 2000s, AMD used to have like a bad issue with their cooling systems. But throughout the years, they've actually gotten really good with it. And with this client, they're not doing any type of overclocking there. You know, it's for a business. They don't need anything crazy. So this will do, you know, stock cooler. So next up, since we got the CPU and the heatsink and fan out of the motherboard, out of the box, now the motherboard, doing things backwards here. We could see that these two brackets and that won't fit. So what do? Well, we do something very simple. Get your handy dandy screwdriver and put that in there like that. Now you'll notice with this, there's a back plate here holding these screws in. So we just take one out one at a time. I usually loosen one up a little bit and loosen the second one up. Just like that. So it's not so angled and so much pressure on one end. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I'm always a stickler for like star patterns and loosen everything up a little bit first and then finally loosen up and tighten it up as well. So this one's being a little stubborn. There we go. So put these to the side for right now. Same with this. Loosen up a little bit, loosen it up a little bit. Actually, just go and loosen that one up all the way. Sorry about those dings. My phone is going off. This little iWatch will not shut up. I don't know why it does this all the time. I need to just mute it because I get so many notifications with this thing. It gets my nerves. So anyways, it's not important. All right, so we got that off. The plate is still back there, but if we lift up on the motherboard now, the plate will fall, you know, so we don't want to do that. So before we put the heatsink and fan on, we got a one big important step. Put it in the processor. So there's a little lever right here. It's basically the locking lever. Keeps the CPU in place. It locks it into the socket, so it'll operate. If you just put the CPU in there without locking it, you're not gonna have a good time. So your computer probably won't even boot. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get the CPU out the wrap of the packaging. Be careful. Do not drop it, because if you drop it, these little pins right here that you can see, they will bend, and it is a pain to fix them. There are ways to fix them, and I've had to do it in the past when I bought a used processor on a strict budget build. I can one day go over a tutorial about that. But basically, long story short, I used a what did I use? I used like a carpentry blade, and like it went in there, just smoothed them all out, and they bent them back in, and it worked. So, see this little arrow right here, little bronze-looking arrow. It's going to match up to right there. How you know that is if you turn it around, all these are diagonal, except for this one. This one kind of goes like a 90-degree angle, basically, and that lines up with that perfectly. So we're just going to put it on there. You don't have to push it down. It just slides right in. If you have to like use force, you're not doing it right. So, but I always still just do like a little tap, and make sure it's in there all the way. Lock the lever, and it clicks right there. So now the CPU is installed, but we cannot turn the computer on yet. We cannot do it. Now, this bad boy, the cooler. So with the AMD stock coolers, it has a little tab here that says AMD. I guess they want to show people that this is AMD, you know? Basically, how it's set up, you can either do it like that, or you can do it like that. Trial and error, I know this way is the better way of doing this, just for the fact that if I was to install the cooler like this, it'd be blocking one of the RAM slots, and we don't want that. So we're going to put it in there like this. Make sure the screws line up with these holes before doing anything crazy. Okay, got them lined up. So now the next step is to tighten it down. So what we're going to do is, one at a time, just do a little tight. That's a little tightened. Same here. Tighten it down just a little bit. This one. And you can tell that's catching. Sometimes they don't catch in there, so you gotta make sure, you know, they actually catch in the thread and go in there. Alright, so all four of them are kind of mediocrely twisted in there, but it's not tight all the way. It's not going to keep your CPU overheat. So now we're going to do the star pattern again. Well, even though this isn't a star pattern, you know what I'm saying. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this one all the way to finger snug. That one's finger snug. Then we're going to go over here to this angle. Same thing. And then here. And last one. There's usually only 4. So that one's on. Now we're just going to kind of go back. Oh, that one wasn't all the way because it finally settled in all the way. That one was tightened all the way. That one's good. And that one's good. Now, you can make sure all the screws on the heatsink is tightened as well. I don't do that because I mean, you can just tell that it's in there all the way. So, that being said, the last step, with a little bit of cable management, you tie this around a little bit like that, like a little bow tie. Right here. See if you guys can see that. Right there. It's your CPU fan power slot. This is where this is going to go. Don't you get it confused with the system fan. The system fan's for your case. So CPU fan right there. That's where we're going to put it into. So, turn around. There's going to be a little, it's going to be a little, I don't know what you want to call those. I just had a brain fart. It'll match up perfectly. Make sure I'm doing it right, not bending anything. And there it is. CPU fan is installed. So all I got to do left is install, put this in the in the case, put in the RAM, hook it up to the power supply, put the SATA cable in, put the M.2 SSD card in there, plug in all these, the USB, and this is going to be an operating computer. So appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys liked this video and you thought it was helpful, please drop a like. If you didn't, please still drop a like, but leave a comment below. And comment below what you want to see me work on next. I think the next video might be replacing a battery in a cell phone. So that might be pretty fun. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys have a great day. And until next video, deuces.